What's up, YouTube? It's Blue Ram again. Today I'm going to show you how to remove the trigger assembly out of a Remington 870 Express by knocking out these two pins here. Let's go ahead and show you how to do that. I do have it put on a couple bench blocks as well. That way my pins will fall right out. Go ahead and pull that off to the side. Go ahead and pull it forward a little bit and right on out. Go ahead and put this off to the side. Get my bench blocks out of the way. We'll get them later. The two pins that you knock out, if you notice, they're two different sizes as well, so you can't get the holes mixed up. You only go in one hole. Alright, let me pause it real quick and I'll get a zoom close up on this trigger assembly. Alright guys, here's a close up of the trigger assembly. But before I get started working on the new Timney trigger, putting in the sear and the spring, I'm gonna put that extended safety in from Wilson Combat. It's a little bit easier. Get that out of the way. I'm gonna grab my 1/16 punch, and I'm gonna go ahead and this little pin that's right here, it's almost like a little needle tip, and then it's a lot fatter on the back side. Go ahead and push it out through this way, pushing out that way, but at the same time put your finger over top of this hole, because there's a spring that's being held under pressure by this safety, or by this detent pin. So go ahead and put your finger over top of it so that spring don't go flying out and make you go ordering a new piece. Go ahead and pop it out. There's the pin. Go ahead and knock the spring out. There's this little spring. Alright, there's a ball bearing that's in here as well. If you lose that ball bearing, you might as well go order a new one. Alright, go ahead and pull out the safety. Alright, we'll set that off to the side. Put this down. Go ahead and grab the new Wilson Combat extended safety. You it's a little bit of a difference. Just a little bit more bigger, protrudes out a little bit more past the gun. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put that back in, and put this one in. Alright, go ahead and get your spring. Now your spring has a coiled end and then it has a flat end. You want to make sure that flat end is facing upwards. Drop it in like so. Alright, what I like to do is go ahead and put your pin back in. Goes back in this side since the big hole. Put it in a little bit. And then I'll grab my 3/32 punch and push down on my spring as I'm pushing in on the retaining pin until it gets captured. Alright, once you got it installed, go ahead and do a quick function test of the safety back and forth to fire and safe mode. Go ahead and switch it over to safe. Go ahead and grab it and put your thumb on top of the hammer. Don't let it fly forward. It could cause it to break. It's only polymer plastic. Go ahead and put it on safe. Thumb on the hammer. Pull the trigger. Doesn't fire. Go ahead and switch it over to fire. Go ahead and put your thumb back on the hammer. Pull the trigger. Let's come forward. Go ahead and pop it back. Safe. Doesn't want to fire. Fire. Comes forward. Now you know you installed it right. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and start the Timney Trigger Kit. You're replacing this sear and the sear spring. Alright, I chose the 2-pound spring. It comes with this little vial. Comes with a yellow, which is I believe like a 3-pound, and then comes with the red, which is supposed to be the heavy spring, a 5-pound spring. So go ahead and put the blue one in. Try out the 2-pound. First, what we want to do is you got 2 pins, or before we do that, go ahead and switch it over to fire. Go ahead and put your thumb on the hammer. Let it go forward. That way it frees everything up. Everything's loose. It's not bound. Okay. I'll go ahead and take these two pins, the silver one that goes all the way through the assembly, and this one here as well. They pretty much just slide right out. I'll use my punch to help assist it. They have a little retaining clip on one side of them to help kind of show you which way they go in, or so they stop. Usually when you take it apart, one side's going this way with the retaining clip, and then the retaining clip's on this side. Alright, that's one. Put your thumb over top of this, I don't know what you would call it, but it's got a little plunger underneath of it, but it holds, it's attached to your shell door, your breech door. Go ahead and pull that pin out. Once you pull that pin out, your breech door, you can go ahead and set that off to the side. The same way with the plunger, it's got a little spring with it. Keep them together. Alright. Next, you want to go ahead and get your trigger bar that's right here, and you have your slide release. Go ahead and you see your slide release, how it moves your trigger bar. Where it's underneath of it. Well, you want your trigger, or the trigger bar, to be underneath this little ledge, this little lip. So what you do, go ahead and tilt it forward, move your trigger bar, just pick it up just a tad bit. I can get up underneath of it. Let it go up over, drop it down. Once you do this, you're freeing up tension in your trigger. You can now remove your spring, your stock spring out, set that off to the side. Alright, at the same time, since your trigger is downwards, your trigger bar is actually blocking this pin. It's right here. So you want to make sure you move it out the way. See how the trigger's connected? Move it out the way. It only comes out one way, and that's from pushing down on this side and knocking it out, and it just falls right out. And the pin can go in either way, it doesn't matter. And then there's your sear. New Timney sear. Right. This Timney has a adjustable spot on here where you can fine tune the creep and to your likings. I think you can make it even smaller than 2 pounds. I think you can make it 1.5 pounds if I'm not mistaken, what I've seen some people say. We'll go ahead and drop that back in, and before you put it in, I'll show you how it goes in. There's a little hook that's on there, and that's what hooks onto your hammer, or your hammer would hook to. So go ahead and put that in. Go ahead and jump ahead. Alright, once you get your pin put back in and hold your sear, get your new sear spring. Since I'm using the blue one, go ahead and put it on this little tit that's hooked to the trigger. Start it on that first. That way it's a little bit easier to put on. And it slips on like so. Alright. Next thing we'll do is go ahead and flip it over. Get your little spring and plunger here. Put that on. Gotta make sure you don't lose that. Get your breech door, your latch. And when you put it on, you want to make sure it goes in between this and your hammer mechanism. Pull your hammer up. Alright. A little difficult to do on camera, so I got it right in my face. Once you get it on there, before I put that breech door on, let me show you what my dumbass forgot to do right as I was putting it on. Make sure you put your trigger bar back over this. I noticed that right when I was putting the breech door on. Just lift it up, pop right back on, right over, just like so. Alright. Push the trigger forward. Go ahead and put this pin back in. It's in there now. Go ahead and put it over to safe function. It doesn't give. Go ahead and put it back to fire. It fires. Alright. Now we'll go ahead and put our breech door on. Go ahead and get our spring plunger, put that in. Go ahead and get the breech door, put our hammer up, make sure it goes in between, and turn it upside down. Get ahead of myself. Right. Get the pin started one side. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces you gotta get lined up while you got that spring holding it under pressure. I'll go ahead and pause this, show you what it looks like. Alright, once you get that pin put all the way in, go ahead and turn it over. You can cock your hammer back, connects to the sear. Alright, let's go ahead and switch it over to safe. Pull the trigger, doesn't fire. Switch it over to fire, pull the trigger. Pull it back, safe, fire. Nice. Alright guys, and that's the disassembly of the trigger and the sear. I'm putting in the new Timney Trigger 2-pound kit. Go ahead and show you putting it back in the gun. Before we go ahead and install this into the receiver, go ahead and switch it over to safe. Cock your hammer back, put your breech door in front of it into your magazine tube, line up your receiver with the assembly, pop it in, get your big pin, drop it in the rear, give them a little persuader nylon side, that way if you hit the gun it won't mess it up as well. Persuade it on in. Go ahead and line up the other hole, the smaller one. Like I said before, they only go into one hole. The big one won't fit in the little one, and the little one will just drop out. Go ahead and zoom it out for you. And that's the installation of the Timney Trigger Kit and the Wilson Combat extended safety switch. Go ahead and do a little quick function test. It's on safe, will not fire. Switch it over to fire. Damn, that was nice. I would say that is a 2-pound. Thanks for watching guys. Please rate and subscribe. Later.